real treat. Now we're going to hear the breakdown of the fight song, performed by the one, the only, the Western Michigan Bronco Band. The Vicksburg Marching Band. What are you wearing?
Leopard spotted pantyhose. Wanna see?
No. Maybe later. But for now, it's time for the flutes to play the breakdown.
Hey, Chewie! You know what Roger hates the most?
You?
No, but close.
Because you certainly annoy me.
He hates bagpipes.
Who could hate bagpipes?
My thoughts exactly. That's why, out of the goodness of my heart, Roger, I made a list of bagpipe jokes. But we'll save those for later. It's now time for the clarinets to play the breakdown.
Wasn't that great? Wait, you didn't hear mine? Oh.
Hey, Chewie,
Yes?
how do you get two bagpipes to play in perfect unison?
How?
Shoot one. Comedy. You want to hear another one?
No! I mean, no.
Okay, fine. What's up next, Chewie?
I have no idea.
The list is in your hand, Chewie.
Oh yeah, silly me.
You can say that again.
Anyways, the alto saxophones are next for the breakdown.
Hey, Chewie, you know what time it is?
Adventure time?
No, that's at 7:30 on Mondays. It's time for a joke.
Your life is a joke.
I'm gonna ignore that.
Everyone ignores you.
How is playing a bagpipe like throwing a javelin blindfolded?
How?
You don't have to be very good to get people's attention.
Speaking of not being very good.
Chewie, you shouldn't talk about your own section that way. The tenor saxes are up next. Tenors are the best.
Best.
Worst. That was great, guys. The most beautiful song I've ever heard.
Hey Jacob, I got a joke for you.
Really?
Okay. Here it goes. What do you call a pig that does karate?
What?
Pork chop.
Speaking of choppiness, the horns!
And that section is.
Isn't there time for a joke?
Not after that performance.
The trumpets!
No, wait.
But no, the answer is, oh, that's the bagpipe player's Porsche. Hey, Chewie, how late do the euphonium section play?
Oh, about a half beat behind the conductor.
Really? Let's find out. Hey, Chewie,
What do you want?
what's the only thing worse than a bagpiper?
Your sense of humor?
Roger's trumpet playing.
Oh yeah, here's the tubas and baris.
Hey, Chewie, what kind of instrument makes noise?
Let me guess. A bagpipe?
Yeah, how'd you guess? Now it's time for the best section, the cymbals. But if you give them mallets, they're pretty much useless. Hey, Chewie, wasn't your brother at band camp?
Yeah, he had to help out with the snares.
You know, that reminds me of a joke I heard the other day. Hey, Chewie, what's the range of a bagpipe?
What?
20 yards and a good arm.
Speaking of 20 yards, the tenor saxophones. Drums.
Hey, Chewie, what did the drummer get on his IQ test?
Does it rhyme with rule?
Why, yes, it does. 172.
Ooh.
Oh, I guess it doesn't. The basses. Hey, Chewie. You guys tired of this yet?
Good, because we're not finished. I wonder who could be next.
Why, the Guardians of the Crayon Kingdom.
Wait, what?
The Color Guard. Now, weren't those Broncos just great?
Jacob, we're in Vicksburg.
Really? I thought they sounded different. Maybe them playing together will refresh my memory. Maybe they should play together.
First up, we have our cadence called Big Red. It was written in the late 80s by Mike Way, and we've been playing it for a really long time.
about at this concert. And the first one is Most Improved Marcher. It seems kind of self-sufficient in the name, but really, truly, every rookie that comes into this band doesn't know much about anything as far as marching. They can play, because I know their 8th grade band director, but I don't know that they can actually move and play, and that becomes the struggle. So this year, I am pleased to hand out 2 Most Improved Marcher awards, and they'll get a plaque at the end of the year with our awards program. But those 2 freshmen this year are Darren Heemstra and Amaya Ash. The next 2 awards that we'll hand out will end up on some perpetual plaques that we keep, and we keep track of those throughout the year and the many years as we go along. I don't really know why we keep track, other than maybe some bragging rights. So the next 2 awards, the first is the Most Improved section. Most Improved section, again, seems logical, but this section has overcome the issue of having the most members in their section. And the first day of band camp, I remember Miss Myers and myself, we looked at each other and said, "Ooh, that's going to be rough." And by the end of the year, they sounded very nice. So the Most Improved section this year, and congratulations, goes to the trumpet section. The best section, that's hard to put out there. I can tell you that, to label a best section is kind of interesting, because I think they're all pretty good. And some of them drive me nuts on a daily basis, but for the most part, they're all very, very good. So to pick out a best is a struggle. However, this year, I think one section pushed themselves ahead of everyone else because of their ability to work kind of under the radar. I don't think I really ever had to say much to them, and their leadership in their section permeated throughout the rest of the band and was contagious. And the best section this year goes to the mellophone section. To make this big red machine happen, and to make it work and to function, there's a lot of people that go into it. And so I'm going to quickly try and go through a few folks that have helped us out a lot. First of all, chaperones on buses and waters and all those things. The parents that have helped us out do those seemingly needless, however, most important things. Those things go unnoticed, and those folks deserve a big thanks. Thank you for all the chaperones. The pit crew are the folks that every time we took the field this year, set up and took down podiums, helped get all of this stuff on trailers, transport it through wherever they had us going, and get it to the right spot at the right time, and we all look good and sound good. And it's due in big part to Dave Westman and his pit team crew that helped us get there. So thank you very much, pit team. Craig Rolfe, our biggest fan, I think, also is our announcer. He's the voice of the Big Red Machine, and so he travels everywhere with us, and I think Craig would back me up on this. I think I changed the start of the show and how we were going to do it about 6 different times, and he went with it and said, "Okay, whatever you want, sure." And so, very gracious to Craig for traveling with us and making that a very consistent, seamless transition between any show that we do. So thank you, Craig. The flags that you're going to see in just a couple of minutes, they don't just miraculously pop out of a box. that way. They are all hand sewn, except for the red flags. We actually bought those this year and didn't have anybody sew those. But all of the other ones are hand sewn, and there were really 3 ladies that helped us out with sewing this year, and it's a huge task. Those big smiley face flags that you saw at the end of the show, if you saw us outside, between the 3 women, I would wager it was more than 40 hours of time to hand sew all of those together. So next year, if you're interested, I'm sure we'd love to spread the wealth around. But those flag sewers, headed up really by Amy Lewis this year, is Amy Lewis, Melissa Stiles, and Jill Tibbetts. A big thank you. Some folks helped us by pulling our trailers. Everywhere we go now as a marching band, we take 6 buses and 3 trailers. And so it's kind of a small army. And to get there, those trailers have to get there safely. And so everyone who used their own vehicle to pull our trailer and through some of the weather that we've been in, have hauled their trailers. A big thank you to you, because we couldn't play without our instruments. So thank you very much. The uniforms you see were purchased in 1998, and so we're on our way to buying new ones, because they're just kind of falling apart. They may look good. It's kind of a good from far, far from good deal. And the ladies in charge of making us look good in those are Angie Freeman and Jill Tibbetts. They have had the task of making 180 uniforms, maybe, fit 154 players that would be in those uniforms, and that's a tough task. So a big thank you to those 2 ladies and their volunteers. Thank you. The next person travels with us everywhere we go, marches in the parades with us, and then takes the time after all of those performances to go home, download video, and then post it online for everybody's family to see that's not in Vicksburg and who missed the performance. Doug Patrick goes everywhere we go, and Doug has done a wonderful job for us. Big thanks, Doug. I always like it the day after, or sometimes even on the way home from a performance, I'll get an email on my phone. Hey, here's the upload. How did you do that so fast? It's amazing. Well done. He's pretty good at it. No, he's done a lot of those. Thanks to the families, at the beginning of the year, we asked for water donations. And bottles of water, if you've watched us go through bottles of water, it's kind of crazy, but it's necessary. And they like to be hydrated, and I like them to be hydrated. So all of you who donated a case of water, or 9 or 20, thank you very much. Those will always be used and will continue to be used. Thank you. The administration around here in Vicksburg is second to none, and they have supported me for, well, this is my 7th year here in Vicksburg. I jokingly say the administration really has never said no to me. Don't get any ideas. But they've never said no, and that's big. If you've watched any of the other band programs in the area, in the state, kind of being dwindled down. And so I thank the administration. A big thanks goes out to Charlie Blaze and Skip Knowles for supporting me and this program, and even making it possible to have an assistant band director this year. That is huge. So big thanks. I'm going to bring all of my staff up on stage, please. All the staff, thank you. Drum, guard, Myers. The staff that I get to put together every year, it's a real privilege. Some are former students of mine, which brings me great pleasure, and the other folks are very near and dear to me, only because they have to deal with me and whatever I ask them to do, and they just do it. And this staff right here makes that go? And that's a huge undertaking. The week of band camp, these folks are on for the entire week, and chaperones will tell you that they go, that these folks are working behind the scenes. The color guard, I mean, they're putting Sharpie on flags at midnight the night before, or making sure that there's glitter for everybody. The drum guys are always changing drum heads, saying, hey, we broke another one. Or whatever it is, fixing drum harnesses the day before an indoor show, that kind of thing. These folks do all of that and do it without a whole lot of thank you. So a big thanks, guys. They like glitter. Awkwardly at times. The students you see on stage tonight, success with them doesn't happen unless you have motivated individuals. And some of them, especially through our student leadership system, have done an amazing job at motivating their peers. And that is really neat and rewarding as an educator to watch students helping students. And it's an amazing thing. It's my favorite part of my job. Believe it or not, it's not standing on a podium, that's work. But sitting back and watching students teach students, it's an incredible thing. Could I have all the leadership members please stand? These folks go through a process of filling out an application. They have to write me a lengthy essay, and then I sift through them. And based on past performances and the way they interact with their peers and what I see in them for leadership abilities, they get chosen. And some of them really, really blossom and become some of the best leaders I've ever seen. And it's just awesome to watch. So if you ever have a chance and you want to come to a rehearsal, watch what's actually happening on the field, not what I'm yelling at, but watch what's happening on the field when they go out and they say, no, that's wrong, we got to fix this. That's not all from me, that's from these guys taking pride in their organization and their program. So a big thanks, leadership team. If you didn't notice or didn't realize, all the music thus far, pretty much, is about 95% completely memorized. You'll see college bands that have music on the field. We don't do that. I never allow it. And these guys, they don't know any different now. But that's just what we do. They memorize the music, they go out and they play, and for some reason they get really excited to play the elements. And last year it was lightning, this year it's hail. I'm always amazed that I can get them fired up if it's raining or snowing or hailing or lightning. They go, yeah, let's do it louder, yeah. I don't get it, I want to go inside, but they like to. So it's great to watch their, no pun intended, joy and energy that they put into music. It's one of the most helpless feelings as a band director. Normally when you come to concerts, I'm on the podium and I have a lot of control. But on a marching band field, I have to step back and let them do it. I can't change anything. And so it gives me great pleasure to watch them have fun doing what they're doing, because I have no control over it at that point. So that's really neat. But we're not done with our marching this year. We're done with the competitive season, which was very successful. Check out the trophies later on. I do enjoy the parents that want to argue with the judges, but it's okay. We're all right with it. Trust me. So, I don't think anybody goes down the trophy hallway and says, "You only got second. What's wrong with you?" We don't have that issue, so we strive for first, and when they don't give it to us, we laugh at them. So it doesn't matter. I'm excited to take this group down to Orlando in the spring for our spring trip down to Disney. And hopefully we'll bring back some more hardware from there too. Thanks to all of our supporters, both financially as friends of the band. You'll see their names in the program, as well as all the folks that are doing the little things behind the scenes to keep this group as powerful a Big Red Machine as possible for a long time. We will have a compilation DVD of all of our shows from the season, and those will be available at the Bandathon, hopefully, if I get my act together. So we'll make that happen, which make great gift ideas for the holidays, just saying. And the last couple folks I need to thank is our new assistant band director, who came on after dealing with me for a semester, and I called her in the middle of the summer and said, "Hey, do you want to work here?" She said, "Oh, okay, sure, I'll deal with it." And so a big thanks goes out to Miss Ravenna Myers and all of her help this year. And then the last folks, obviously I need to thank my family. They're not here tonight, but my wife, 2 children, they're my biggest fans and my biggest critics. Believe it or not, when I go home, my 4-year-old daughter looks at me and says, "Dad, the band looked okay tonight. But I really like the flags. The drums were too loud, but I liked the band." And that's what she'll tell me. And so they are my biggest critics and my biggest fans, but they also allow me to be away from home and with all of your children for much of the year. It seems like this, 8 weeks of school flies by, but man, it's a long one. So I appreciate all of your support for my family, and obviously theirs for this program. So big thanks to my family.